Get outdoors with Mike Russell. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
We're locked and loaded. See what I did there? We're ready to go. We're rip-roaring ready to go. This half hour brought to you by our good friends at AZ Firearms. And those people are right here with me right now. Dan and Cheryl Todd, the proprietors of AZ Firearms, are here. Now, here's what we're going to do. Henceforth, see how I get all regal there? Henceforth, we are going to 12:30 to 1 o'clock every week. We're going to talk guns on this segment. We're going to talk about, like I said, everything from reloading to gunsmithing. Woo-hoo! You have an issue. I know, right? You have anything about cleaning guns. You want to talk about you got what to do with a gun Grandpa left you. Whatever it is, these people can help. We're going to walk you through it. We can always take your calls at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR is the number. We can help you out with all things firearms. Welcome and thank you to you both. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. This is exciting, Mike.
Yeah, this is great.
It took a year of begging. I've been begging you guys for a long time, and finally, fine, we'll partner with the show, and we'll help the people out with guns.
I don't think that's exactly how it went.
That's how it went. That's how it went.
I don't know about begging, but I'm so happy that you guys are here.
Yes, see? It's a beer and nachos were involved.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yes. Bribery. Bribery. It was a B word. Bribery, begging, one of those.
And always your text at 411-923, and if you have a question, go ahead and shoot it to Mike at KTAR.com. Let's talk about why we're here. Let's talk about why these are the people that we chose to partner with, and of course, you know why they partnered with us. I mean, come on, it's Get Outdoors. That's how we do it. Yeah. Let's start with you, Dan. Dan, you are the guy I have asked more questions about guns to than my own dad, my own grandfather. I have a question about guns. I come to you. What's your background in guns, and talk about where it all started.
Well, thanks for having me. This is going to be exciting for me, too, because I'm going to get to talk about something that my passion, my love. And I started.
Talk about me?
Sorry. See?
Oh, guns.
That's another show. We'll talk about that later. Anyway.
That's on After Dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
hey, now.
Very white.
Now I've lost track now.
Dan is turning as red as the studio.
Yeah. Well. All right, anyway, I've been doing guns all my life, ever since I was able to know what a gun was, and I got interested in learning how to work on them and repair and clean them and service them. So I've been around all my life, been doing gun shows, had a store years ago. Didn't work out too well back then, but now we've got one that's doing really well. And,
right, and that's out in Avondale.
Yep.
That's out in Avondale, yes. That's AZ Farms. And azfarms.com. You guys can sell online. You can sell coast to coast.
We sell all over the country. We ship it straight to a federal firearms license. There's a lot to that, and we're going to learn all that through these programs that we're doing on how what we do and everything. So
right, and I want to get back to your expertise here. Now you gunsmith you do it all. There's nothing you don't do. You can look at a gun, and the first thing you want to do is probably take it apart, see how it works, clean it, and put it back together.
Right, and I can work on any gun. It doesn't matter what it is. Some take me a little longer than others, but the basics are pretty well the same, and I can pretty well work on anything.
And you have 2 howitzers.
I have 2 howitzers.
Of course, you have 2 howitzers.
You have to have 2. If you don't have 2, they can't grow to 3 and 4.
Oh, I see. I like that. I love that. See? And that's what you're going to be doing. And, we'll be taking your calls throughout the weeks. Anything that you have, if you're having a problem with a gun, a specific type of gun, go ahead and call us, text us. You can email us and figure out exactly how to get that solved.
So basically, people come into my store all the time talking about, hey, I don't know what to do about my gun because it does this. I don't know how to put it back together. And we try to help them over the counter. And that's what I'm hoping that this segment does, that we can help people over the phone.
We can. And by the way, there's no such thing. Look, you've heard my show before. You understand who I am. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There isn't. There are questions that you think, well, I'm not going to call. I don't know if I want to ask that. I don't want to say my name or anything like that. Please do. We want to. If you want to know the best way to clean a certain gun, the best way to fix anything, please call in 602-277-5827, and we're going to be doing this every single week from 12:30 to 1. You brought your lovely bride with you, the boss, actually.
Yes, 30 years this month.
Good night. Congratulations.
Yep.
How about that? 30 years.
Well, and we work together, so we like
So
to
you married
say,
her when she was 5?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That's
back
kind of
then you
gross,
could do
man.
that.
That's creepy.
Mike, we've already worked the deal. You don't have to keep complimenting. You don't have to keep with that. But thank you for that. But yeah, we say that since we work together, we should actually get double years. So,
Okay.
we should get to say we've been married for 60 years because every single day, really, for 60 years.
Wow.
Here I go.
There
30
you
years.
go. There
It
you
just
have
feels like 60 sometimes, but
And I like to say, Cheryl, I'm so proud of her because she has taken a regular gun shop and converted into a place where women, people that don't know much about guns, they can come and not feel intimidated. So I
thank
really
you.
want to tell you, she's an asset to this business.
She is, and this is one of the reasons why I jumped on the AZ Firearms bandwagon a long time ago. Was the first time I walked into your shop, everybody's just hanging out. We're just talking, having a good time.
we're just friendly. We're just friends.
There was nothing off. I could talk about anything. I didn't feel like, oh, they're going to think I'm dumb if I ask this question. I've got an outdoor radio show. I can't ask a question. And I'm just spouting off questions and asking, oh, what's that? Look at that. Oh, what is that? I want to know. And it was just comfortable. It was that environment.
Well, I appreciate that, and honestly, Dan and I have talked about kind of the kind of store that we wanted to develop, but some of it just happened naturally. It just comes from who we are and our own experiences. Dan has been around guns his entire life. He can fix any gun you can possibly bring him. We can sell any gun from a BB gun to
I love BB guns.
a full auto machine gun to howitzer cannons. And we went to Colorado recently, and I wanted to stop in at one of the little shops, and he felt funny about it. He's like, I don't like to walk into an unfamiliar shop. I just don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so just knowing that about ourselves with the background that he has, which let me just put this disclaimer out there right now. I don't have the same background. I am a novice in a lot of ways with firearms. And so I can understand that feeling that people get also, that it's like, all right, I've never touched a gun. I've never shot a gun. I don't want to walk in and everybody's all, rough, tough guys. And, so we want to be that friendly, open place where you can just walk in, just say hello as you walk in. You don't even have to talk to us. Just look and see what's there. Just get familiar.
And hey, people want to test you out already because they want that vibe. Let's go to Dave in Phoenix. Dave, you have a question about repair.
Well, my question is, if I want to bring a gun in to be repaired, I obviously can't just walk in the store holding it. What's the best protocol for bringing a firearm in to have you guys look at?
That's a great question. It is not against the law for you to just walk in with the gun, but to be safe, it should be double checked to make sure it's unloaded, put it in a case, or wrap it in a cloth and bring it in, and we'll take care of you. But either way is fine.
When you say wrap it in a cloth, help me out with that. Do you just drop in a pillowcase? What do you want?
You could do that, or a towel, whatever is convenient for you. Just double check that gun to make sure it's unloaded, and bring it in. But there's no issues about bringing a gun in, just walking with a gun.
I walked in with a shotgun before, just rolling through the parking lot and walked right into your store. So yeah, it's I wouldn't be afraid of that at all, Dave. Yeah,
The neighbors are used to it.
Oh yeah, they are. Yes, they see it all the time. Trust me, if you've seen Dan's truck, you know you're around firearms at that point.
Alrighty, our next caller is Sue from Gilbert with a question about Smith & Wesson.
All right, Sue, welcome.
Well, thank you. My husband gave me my Smith & Wesson handgun as a Mother's Day present several years ago. However, it is consistently misfired. We've sent it back twice, and it's still misfired. What's your suggestion on my next step?
Well, the next time, thank you again for calling in. What I would suggest is you bring that gun, let me personally take a look at it, and we'll get to the bottom of it. You're going to be, we'll deal directly with me. I know the gun, and I'll be able to get you in the right track. It's good to bring in, not in the gun, but bring some ammo with the gun that you're using. Bring that in with you, and let me know, are you shooting reloads, if you know, or what, all the particulars, and we're going to ask you all that. Take a look at your gun, and I'll be able to give you an answer, and we'll get it working or tell you why it will never work again.
And I think that's important that you bring up, because I would just bring the gun in. I would say, here it is. What do I? It's misfiring, and then you would. Okay, let me see the ammo. We need to talk here. And I think sending that in, and she mentioned sending it into Smith and Wesson. They're not going to be able to ask those questions and look at the gun. Gun looks good to me, and shoot it right back to you.
And can I just say, what an amazing Mother's Day gift? Can we just high five
Nicely
that
done.
guy?
Right.
Right? He knows. Protect his family, protect his wife. That's phenomenal.
Also, we're going to be able to test fire that gun right in our facilities too. So we're not just going to say we think it a shoot. We're going to know it shoot. So feel free to bring it in, and we'll take good care of you.
Where are you?
215 East Western in Avondale. And we're open from 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and Saturday, noon to 5.
Look for the giant truck that looks like it looks like
Flags,
America. Let's just say it
bullets,
looks like America. It looks like the Second Amendment. If the
AR-15.
Second Amendment drove a truck, this is exactly what that looked like. But before we break, I want to get back to you, Cheryl, here just for a second. Now, have you been around guns your whole life?
I have. My family was always well armed, and my dad would go hunting with my 3 brothers, but I was the only girl, so I didn't necessarily go out. I personally have never hunted and never shot any living thing. But I understand guns. I understand that they're a tool. I never thought they were so cool that I was overly impressed and did inappropriate things and wanted to show my friends and that, because they just were part of our life. It's like, well, we got a hammer in the garage, there's a chainsaw, and in this closet is where we keep the shotgun.
All 3 can hurt you if used improperly.
Exactly.
Yes.
And my dad trained all of us kids on the proper use. And so, yeah, I've been around them my whole life, but not to the degree that Dan does. So I don't know a lot of the technical stuff, but I definitely support my Second Amendment rights.
Yes, you do. So let's stay on those Second Amendment rights when we continue with AZ Firearms next on Get Outdoors.
This is Get Outdoors with Mike Russell, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
And this segment brought to you by AZ Firearms. Oh my goodness. Did you see? I almost hit a dump button. AZ Firearms.
It happens.
Good night. It's there's reasons. We just heard
happens.
Dave Ramsey, by the way. We heard Dave Ramsey. You guys are big. You guys are Dave Ramsey peeps. Like, Dave is all about you guys.
Yeah.
He loves some Dan and Cheryl Todd at AZ Firearms.
We are so blessed and so fortunate to know him, as well as Mike Russell.
Oh, settle
honestly.
down now. Come on. Let's keep
seriously.
that bar set low.
Dave's been endorsing both of our businesses for several years now, because we have the auction house, Pot of Gold Estate Liquidations, and we also have AZ Firearms. And, you just almost made a little boo-boo calling us Arizona Firearms.
It happens.
There is another shop in town called Arizona Firearms.
Right.
Very nice people over
Yes.
there. I think we probably share clientele, because
I would
people get
imagine.
confused.
Right.
But even Dave Ramsey, after endorsing us for all these years, was on stage at his event here recently and accidentally said, "Hey, there's our good friends from Arizona Firearms." So I shouted, because I'm ladylike like that, shouted through the auditorium, "AZ Firearms!"
There was a big moment of silence.
Yeah.
He goes close enough. But he can get away with it, because we love Dave.
The silence was everyone looking for security guard. Are they going to take this woman out of here?
Yeah, we've been banned. That was great.
Now, he calls you the Floyd's
Floyd's
Barbershop. And I think it's a very good way to put it. It's a very good description
Thank
of
you.
and that's what I want this segment to be as we move forward in this half hour of our show. Just if you want to call in, 602-277-5827 is the number, or Mike at KTAR if you want to text a question, 411-923. We got you handled. It's a comfortable environment. We're not going to try to trick you up. We're not going to make you think, well, you don't know guns, we know guns. That's not the vibe here. We are all about people understanding the tool, understanding the joy of shooting sports, and in the tool that a gun is. And Dan, man, you know guns inside and out. What is if I were to say you get one thing to do for the rest of your life, and as far as a specialty in the gun world, what would it be? If you just had to pick one thing to do in the gun world, what would it be?
Repairs. I
Repairs?
love the servicing guns.
Do you?
It's awesome.
You just get to take them apart like Legos.
You learn stuff every day.
Yeah?
And you take them apart. People bring them to me in bags. That's exciting to me. I get paid to put this person's gun back together. And sometimes they're a challenge. I mean, sometimes it takes me a half an hour, sometimes it takes an hour, but it's a challenge, and I just learn.
Take me a month, and it would be all YouTube videos. I know Dan's got a YouTube page. Please say he has a YouTube page.
And, we're working on that. We'd like to do that. Eventually, we're going to try. But right now in my shop, I don't have any kind of computers or anything else. And it's frustrating because sometimes I say, I'll go look on YouTube. I'll go check it. No, I'm being paid to do this job. I'm going to do it. So I figure it out.
Nice.
And, springs can go in different ways. So
yes. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
There's a right way and 5 wrong ways. Okay?
Yes, I can imagine.
And sometimes that spring is the first thing you put in the gun. You still got 20 other parts to put in. So it's like if you put it in wrong, you put the other 20 parts in, you got to take the other 20 parts off, fix the spring again, and put the 20 parts in. It's very it's a lot of fun. Okay?
Yeah, I can imagine it is, but that's the thing. Is when you have a problem with a gun, there is YouTube, and I joked about YouTube. YouTube is an amazing tool in a lot of ways. But I think when it comes to something like, I'm not going to go to YouTube to fix my chainsaw. I'm not, right. Because I'm going to be too afraid to use it afterwards.
Right.
Okay, and I don't want, because my chainsaw is a tool, my guns are tools. I want to take it to a professional. I want to get it in front of a professional because they're going to ask the right questions, the questions that I wouldn't even know that they needed to know to fix a gun. Now, you mentioned earlier that your wife was here and she's made this store a wonderful experience for everybody. Talk to us, Cheryl, if you could, about women getting into this, because I've done several segments throughout the year on the rise of women in shooting sports and in hunting and in the outdoors in general. Are you seeing a lot of that? And if so, what can you put your finger on a reason that that's happening?
It has been incredible, and there was kind of a light switch moment, I think, where we started seeing a lot more women, and now it's just kind of a steady growth. I want to say that it kind of started with the new administration. Can I just put it that way?
You can. It's okay.
With all of the hype out there that guns are so bad and they're so evil and they're so wrong and all of that, a lot of times we find ourselves feeling like defensive towards those things. But honestly, we should just keep welcoming that message because it's causing thinking people to say, no, wait a minute, what do I really think about a gun? I don't believe this hype that I'm hearing. I'm going to find out for myself. And women are leading the pack because women are protectors. They're protecting their children. And
you don't mess with Mama Bear.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
you do not mess with Mama Bear. Dan, there was a text question that came in?
Oh, we got a great question. This is what is the best approach for a private legal gun owner to sell a gun without selling it to a dealer to protect the seller and the buyer? That's an awesome question.
That's a great question, yes.
I wish more people would ask that. What you need to do, or what I would suggest you do, is go to a federal firearms dealer that you trust and have the transaction done at the store. Now, generally, they'll charge $35, $40 to do that. But you know that the gun's going to go through a background check. You've released that gun. There's a record that you've released that gun, and then it's transferred to the new owner. And it's the safest way for you to sell a gun. I encourage.
But if not, like the question, but basically, if without having to take it to a gun shop, what is the best way? Do we do a bill of sale? Do we just have some sort of legal record of that?
Yes, you would definitely want a bill of sale and to make sure that they are a resident of your state.
Oh, okay.
They have to be a resident of your state. If somebody from California comes over here and wants to buy a gun from an individual and you sell it to them, that is against the law.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So get a copy of their driver's license, get them to sign a piece of paper saying that they received the gun. That is a way to do that, but I would encourage you to reconsider taking it to a local gun shop.
So be super safe. Take it into a shop. But if you just want to get the transaction done, and that's the way it is. Make sure there's paper trail. Make sure that you take it and get it notarized, a bill of sale, and that it's done. And the person is in your state, is a resident of your state.
That is
huge. I did not know it. The residency thing, I did not know.
Well, you also have to think about if somebody used that gun in a crime after they sold it to you. did you do your due diligence? I mean, are you sure that this person didn't break a law?
Right.
That he could own the gun. That's the hardest part about that.
You'll sleep better at night.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's kind of the bottom line there.
I can imagine. And this is the kind of stuff. This is exactly what we want. We want to hear from you on the phone. We want to hear from you in text 411923 and on email at mike@ktar.com. So, guys, we got the first one in the books, and you were nervous about this whole thing. Come on.
Who was nervous?
I always tell people, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Trust me. Holy mackerel. You
This
guys
was
are
fun.
amazing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, we're going to do it every week. We're going to do it from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. We're going to have AZ Firearms in here answering your gun questions. AZ Firearms is bringing you a half hour of the best information in the shooting world and in the gun world in general. And by the way, we're going to cover hunting topics as well. It's going to be great.